Imagine this. Someone is pushing your buttons, trying to get a reaction out of you. Maybe it's a snide remark, an eye roll, or a passive-aggressive comment. Your instinct? Fire back. But what if I told you that not reacting is actually the ultimate power move? In today's video, we're diving into the profound strength of silence and why it's one of the most effective tools for maintaining control in the face of negativity. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a strategy, a form of emotional self-defense that disarms those who seek to provoke you. When used correctly, it can shift power dynamics, set boundaries, and even make people question their own behavior. Instead of letting negativity pull you into a spiral of conflict, you can use silence to reclaim your peace and stay in control. If you're ready to learn how to turn silence into your secret weapon, make sure to subscribe to Moment of Mind. We're all about unlocking deeper wisdom and mastering the art of self-empowerment. Now let's explore why silence is more than just golden, it's transformational. Negativity often stems from deep-seated insecurities and the need for validation. When individuals feel overlooked or insignificant, they may resort to provocation as a means of drawing attention to themselves. Provocation manifests in many ways, from overt verbal insults to subtle passive-aggressive behaviors like eye-rolling or dismissive gestures. These actions are not random, they're a cry for recognition, a desperate attempt to fill an emotional void. The person provoking may experience a fleeting sense of power when they successfully elicit a reaction, but this reaction rarely leads to lasting fulfillment. In many cases, negative behaviors are rooted in personal struggles or feelings of inadequacy. When someone provokes, it's often because they are projecting their inner turmoil onto others. Recognizing this dynamic is crucial in understanding that the provocation is more about the instigator's unmet needs than about the target's shortcomings. By comprehending these motivations, we can choose to respond with silence or calmness rather than getting entangled in a cycle of negativity. This awareness empowers us to maintain our emotional balance, deflect toxic behavior, and ultimately reclaim control over our reactions, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for personal growth and reflection. When confronted with negativity, silence is one of the most powerful responses we can choose. Rather than engaging in a back and forth of escalating emotions, opting for silence allows us to disarm the provocateur by denying them the reaction they seek. When you remain silent, you create a pause, a space where emotions can settle and rational thought can take over. This silence not only shifts the power dynamic in your favor, but also demonstrates strength and self-control. Choosing silence is an intentional act of self-preservation and reflection. It sends a message that you are not willing to be drawn into a cycle of reactive behavior. Instead of fueling the fire of conflict, you extinguish it by withholding immediate responses. This pause gives both parties an opportunity to reassess the situation, often leading the instigator to question their own behavior. In essence, silence is a strategic tool that preserves your inner peace and maintains your dignity. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the most potent reaction is no reaction at all. Embracing silence enables you to navigate conflicts with grace and fosters an environment where thoughtful dialogue and self-awareness can flourish. Throughout history, influential figures have harnessed the power of silence to challenge injustice and provoke deep reflection. Take Mahatma Gandhi, for instance, who famously adopted nonviolent resistance during India's struggle for independence. Gandhi's deliberate pauses and refusal to engage in heated exchanges sent a clear message. His strength lay not in loud rhetoric, but in the calm, measured force of his convictions. His silent defiance disrupted the cycle of violence and forced his adversaries to confront the moral weight of their actions. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr. demonstrated how silence could be a tool for maintaining moral authority during the civil rights movement. In moments of intense provocation, his composed silence underscored his commitment to nonviolence, enabling him to lead with dignity and inspire millions to envision a more equitable society. This strategic quietude not only disarmed his opponents, but also elevated the discourse around justice and equality. Even in ancient times, the philosopher Socrates employed silence as a method to encourage introspection. By withholding immediate judgment and responses, he invited his interlocutors to examine their own beliefs, fostering a culture of self-reflection and intellectual inquiry. These examples from history highlight that silence, when used with intention, can be a powerful catalyst for change and a testament to inner strength. Silence can have a profound psychological impact on those who seek to provoke reactions. When provokers are met with a quiet, non-responsive demeanor, they are confronted with an unexpected void where their anticipated emotional feedback should be. This lack of response can trigger self-doubt and confusion, as their usual tactics no longer yield the desired attention. Instead of feeling empowered by eliciting a reaction, the instigator may begin to question the effectiveness of their behavior, leading to a subtle erosion of their self-assuredness. The absence of engagement forces provokers into a state of introspection, where they are compelled to reconsider the reasons behind their provocative actions. In many cases, this reflective pause can highlight underlying insecurities or a deep-seated need for validation that drives their behavior. As a result, silence not only denies them the satisfaction of a reaction, but also disrupts their habitual pattern of seeking attention through conflict. Over time, repeated encounters with a calm, measured silence can diminish their urge to provoke, as the reinforcement they once relied upon is systematically withdrawn. Ultimately, the psychological impact of silence transforms the dynamics of conflict, shifting the focus from reactive engagement to thoughtful self-assessment and emotional resilience. Silence is a powerful ally in mastering our emotional responses, especially in heated or challenging situations. When emotions run high, taking a deliberate pause through silence can provide the necessary space to process feelings and avoid impulsive reactions. This pause is not an act of withdrawal, but rather a conscious effort to engage in self-regulation. By choosing silence, you allow yourself time to reflect on the situation, identify the root causes of your emotions, and decide on a measured response rather than reacting based on immediate impulses. This technique helps break the cycle of escalating conflict by reducing the likelihood of saying something regretful in the heat of the moment. Instead, silence creates an opportunity to breathe, reassess, and engage with clarity and intention. Over time, consistently practicing silence as a response fosters emotional resilience, teaching you to manage stress and navigate difficult interactions with greater calmness. Moreover, it sets a standard for respectful communication by showing that thoughtful reflection is more powerful than reactive outbursts. Ultimately, using silence as a tool for emotional control not only protects your inner peace, but also promotes healthier, more constructive interactions in both personal and professional settings. Silence serves as a subtle yet powerful method for setting and maintaining personal boundaries. When confronted with disrespect or toxic behavior, choosing not to respond immediately can communicate that you will not tolerate negativity. This intentional pause creates a clear demarcation between acceptable and unacceptable interactions. Instead of engaging in a potentially escalating conflict, silence signals that your emotional space is off-limits to unwarranted intrusion. By withholding a response, you assert control over your own narrative, ensuring that others cannot manipulate you into an exchange that undermines your self-worth. Moreover, silence reinforces the idea that respect must be earned, not demanded. It communicates self-respect and confidence as you prioritize your emotional well-being over reactive confrontation. Over time, consistently using silence to deflect negative energy teaches those around you to adjust their behavior. They learn that provocative comments or actions will not break your composure, gradually shifting the dynamic towards more respectful interactions. In both personal and professional settings, setting boundaries with silence fosters healthier communication. It encourages a culture where thoughtful engagement replaces impulsive reaction, ultimately creating a safer and more supportive environment. Embracing silence as a boundary-setting tool is not about avoidance, it is about actively preserving your inner peace and ensuring that your space remains a sanctuary for constructive dialogue. Incorporating silence into your daily interactions can be a game changer for managing emotions and diffusing conflicts. One practical technique is the pause and breathe method. When you feel provoked, take a deep breath and count to 5 before responding. This deliberate pause not only helps you regain control over your emotions, but also sends a subtle message that you are processing the situation thoughtfully. Another useful strategy is the reflective silence approach. Instead of jumping into a conversation, allow a moment of silence to pass, giving both you and the other party time to contemplate your words and actions. You can also practice mindfulness meditation regularly to enhance your ability to remain calm under pressure. This practice trains you to observe your thoughts without immediately reacting. In addition, setting physical reminders, such as a note on your phone or desk, can help reinforce the habit of pausing before responding. Finally, try role-playing potential scenarios with a trusted friend or colleague. This rehearsal can build your confidence in using silence as a tool for emotional control. By implementing these techniques, you transform silence from a void into a strategic asset that promotes clarity and fosters respectful dialogue. Mastering the art of silence isn't about shutting down, it's about gaining control. By using techniques like the pause and breathe method, reflective silence, and mindfulness meditation, you can navigate conflicts with clarity and emotional strength. These strategies allow you to respond rather than react, making your interactions more thoughtful and impactful. Remember, silence isn't weakness, it's power. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to use silence as a tool for emotional mastery. Whether in personal relationships or professional settings, knowing when to pause can completely shift the energy of a conversation in your favor. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used silence to handle a tough situation? Drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more engaging content on mastering your mind, emotions, and personal growth. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.